Sibel Edmonds is the founder and director of National Security Whistleblowers Coalition. She worked as a language specialist for the FBI following 9/11. During her work with the Bureau, she discovered and reported serious acts of security breaches, cover-ups, and intentional blocking of intelligence that had national security implications. After she reported these acts to the FBI management, she was retaliated against by the FBI, fired in March of 2002. And, of course, since that time, court proceedings on her case have been blocked by the assertion of state secret privilege by the Bush administration first, and I believe that carries on with the Obama administration. We'll find out in a second. The Congress of the U.S. has looked at her case. But because she's been gagged and prevented from any discussion of her case, she hasn't been able to talk about it since she first addressed Congress. That material that she gave to Congress has since been retroactively reclassified by the Department of Justice. She is also a George Washington University PEN American Center Award winner of Newman's own First Amendment Award. Her new blog site is 123 Real Change. Her new project is Project Expose MSM. Sibel Edmonds, how are you? Oh, there we go. Sibel Edmonds, welcome to the Malloy Show.
Good evening, Brad. Thank you.
Thank you for being here. What we can get in, I think, before we have to go to a break here in about 30 seconds, Sibel, is my question about the Obama administration. Have they continued the state secrets privilege that was applied during the Bush administration to your case?
Well, no, they didn't have to because the case was over. In 2006, once we took it all the way up to the Supreme Court as far as the courts were concerned, and therefore the state secrets privilege, the case was over. Mm-hmm. But there is no case. There is no active court case to invoke the state secrets privilege again or continue it. However, with the Congress, it's a different story because Congress all along had the ability to have hearings on this and have me testify, have the witnesses testify, and they were not subject to the state secrets privilege, and they never used their authority, their jurisdiction, their power to do it.
Hold the thought, Sibel. We're going to pick it up right there after this break. And I'm speaking with Sibel Edmonds, the noteworthy. There we go. The noted FBI translator, hired after 9/11, heard some stuff on the tapes there that made her quite concerned about a number of things. A couple of them, and we need to reset and hit some of these. Corruption within the translation unit at the FBI. And Sibel, this is something that I believe you have talked about, so correct me if I'm wrong. But yes. The corruption, the concern you had, folks, spies, actually, within the translation unit. Is that correct?
Correct. Those were concerns, but then they were addressed by the Justice Department's Inspector General's office. So they've been confirmed espionage cases, security breach cases within the FBI. And
so, good. The IG confirmed it, and action was taken on those cases, right?
No.
What?
No action, of course.
No action. So the folks that you had concerns about that might have been what, ignoring certain documents in the Turkish translation department, ignoring certain documents, not translating them or mistranslating them, right? Those folks were not. Are they still working there, Sibel?
Last I heard they were, but again, as I said, they are no longer considered concerned. Two senators, Senator Grassley and Senator Leahy, 6 years ago declared them as clear cases of espionage.
And so, obviously, you're being sarcastic when you're saying they're no longer a concern. The senators declared them a clear case of espionage. The FBI IG report declared that serious concerns, I believe was the word they used. And no action was taken. And these guys, one of them, as I recall, was actually, the daughter of a target of one of these FBI investigations.
Well, that case was not related to my FBI work. That case was reported to the media by other whistleblowers, translators from the FBI's language division that dealt with Pakistan Urdu translation. That case had to do with this general who worked for General Mahmoud, ISI, in Washington, D.C., Pakistani embassy. And the counterintelligence for the FBI was and is targeting that institution and the ISI agents in the United States. So they ended up hiring and giving security clearance to this general's daughter, who ended up listening to her father and her father's colleagues and covered up for them.
So she was literally listening to her father on some of these wiretaps?
Correct, because she worked under counterintelligence, and the counterintelligence targeted the ISI entities under the cover of the Pakistani attaché.
And the ISI being the Pakistani intelligence agency akin to our CIA, I guess out here.
Thank you.
Was she, well, the other one, Ken Dickerson, I believe. That was not the same case, correct?
No,
that was a different
had to do with the Turkish Translation Division, and
right.
again, that case was the one that was confirmed. And with that case, she was also married to Lieutenant Colonel who worked for...
Oh, did we lose you, Sibel?
Hello?
Oh, there we go. I think we lost you for a second. She was married to a who?
At the time, he was a major who was working for Richard Pearl and Douglas Feith in Pentagon on Central Asian issues, and they were both members of organizations that were the targets of FBI's investigations.
Is she still working there?
No. Actually, they fled the country. They left in 2002 after my case became public, and they haven't been back as far as I know.
Okay. And yet there are still some of the people that you had concerns about that are still working within that actual unit.
Again, I haven't been in touch with people inside, but last time I heard some of those people were still working. In fact, some of them have been promoted.
Of course they have. And all of this is no small potatoes, because these cases we're talking about, these weren't, bribery, extortion, numbers running. We're talking about some pretty serious things, as we later learned from the UK Sunday Times, who were willing to report on this while the U.S. media was not. We're talking about nuclear secrets and people who were essentially being, what was the word you used? They were being hooked by foreign agents, bribed essentially, and nuclear secrets were going out all over the world, and that is in fact how allegedly that A.Q. Khan ended up with a nuclear bomb in Pakistan.
Correct.
All right. So this is serious business, and there seems to have been, is it possible, Sibel Edmonds, in your case, that there was accountability brought that we just don't know about it, that some of these folks were cleared out, but it remained a secret. Is that possible?
No, because you all know the individuals and where they are today. I mean, all you have to do, take a look at Mark Grossman and Richard Pearl and Douglas Feith and General Scowcroft, and you will see that they are still continuing their businesses as usual.
Yeah, and one of those folks is actually Dennis Hastert, the former Speaker of the House,
right,
who has now gone to work for the Turkish government.
Isn't that amazing? Because, as you know, in 2005, August 2005, Vanity Fair had a 7-page article on this issue and the fact that several FBI agents and DOJ officials as sources and some congressional people confirmed to this reporter, David Rose, that at the time, Speaker of the House Dennis Hastert was the recipient of various briberies and other illegal conduct. Let's put it that way. And this came out, and Dennis Hastert didn't do anything. They didn't go and sue Vanity Fair. In fact, they didn't really issue a real denial. And as you know, he resigned a year later, and now he works actually for the Turkish lobby that the Vanity Fair article named as the place, one of the entities that was giving Mr. Hastert his bribes.
Oh, they actually, Vanity Fair had named that particular firm?
Correct. because they work with the American Turkish Council and the ATA. And they are the clients for the lobbying firms that he's working for today. And